If you just joined us, you're still on to TVC News at 10. Well, let's return to our earlier story where the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has clarified the sanctions initiated against 5 airlines recently were for consumer protection related infractions and not for safety concerns. The managing director of Consumer Protection and Public Affairs, Michael Achimugu, issued a warning that any airline that delays the payment of refunds to passengers within the stipulated time frame in Part 19 of the NCAA regulations will be sanctioned. And have joining me now for more on this is the Managing Director, Consumer Protection, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimugu. Good to have you on the news at this time. So let's get your reaction now to the misconceptions about the recent airline sanctions being safety related rather than consumer protection focused. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. First of all, good evening to you and the viewers. I'm a little surprised that some sections of the media would report the story in that manner because it does not speak to the issues. I'm Director of Consumer Protection. I'm not a technical director, so I could not have been speaking about any safety-related issue except where necessary. Our statement was very clear. In fact, yesterday in Lagos during the stakeholders meeting between NCAA, FAN, and the CEOs of the domestic airlines, my Director General, Captain Chris Nadomo, still mentioned the facts of the matter before all of the pressmen that were present. These sanctions, you recall that a little over a week ago, had issued this advisory, or warning, if you will, that airlines that delay payment of refunds to passengers will be sanctioned because it's what the regulation says. You know, where ticket is purchased online or by a mobile banking app, the airline has 14 days to make that refund. Where the ticket has been purchased by cash, then the airline must refund that passenger by cash immediately before they even leave the terminal. You know, so we've had a history, a very long history of, you know, delayed refunds. People's monies have been tied down for months, you know, and I spent the entire year listening to airlines to identify what challenges they have, how the authority can, you know, support them. But at this point, I now know where I can, you know, exonerate or absolve the airline of blames, you know, but I also know where to hold them responsible for their actions or inactions. Nigerian passengers deserve world-class service, and so we are bringing the hammer down to ensure there's compliance with the regulations. So this enforcement action we are taking is with regards to, you know, refund issues, delayed baggage, you know, missing baggage, etc. It's nothing to do with safety.
Yeah, and talking about sanctions now, how will the NCAA ensure that these sanctions will drive real improvements in consumer protection rather than just being seen as mere punishments, as the case may be?
You know, the profit margins in aviation is very thin. No, a lot of our airlines are operating at a loss financially. You know, no airline would like to be sanctioned. Apart from the monetary value of it, you know, there's also the PR angle. You know, there's the perception angle. Nobody wants to lose customers. So it's also like a name and shame thing. But however, our goal at the NCAA is not to punish. It is to ensure compliance and quality service delivery. And of course, over the past decade, the Consumer Protection Department had not sanctioned any airline, and we didn't think it was right, especially, you know, with the rate of disruptions in the country, where it is the fault of the airline. We are engaging them robustly. This year, the NCA has engaged operators more than any other year in its history, you know, and it's yielding fruit because, first off, we have made it clear this is a partnership between, you know, the regulatory agency and the operators. So now the operators do not feel like slaves anymore. They are more compliant, becoming more compliant with the regulations. And so it's yielding fruit, good fruit.
And talking about, trying to strike a balance in ensuring that the airlines meet up to what is expected of them, we understand, there are unnecessary flight delays and cancellations, which are on the rise. How does NCAA now balance enforcing passenger rights with airlines' operational challenges, especially during this Harmattan period?
I have said it time and again, not every disruption is the fault of the airline. That's why regulations globally, it's not a Nigerian thing, makes provision for weather, act of God, technical issues. When those things occur, the airline is not liable. The airline does not owe a passenger anything. Because the airline, how do you punish a man because weather didn't let them fly? Are they supposed to control weather? And everybody knows that in December, every December, there's poor visibility because of the Harmattan haze, and where these issues have happened, I understand the frustrations of passengers, but our duty here is not to overregulate the airlines out of business, is to support their businesses, especially domestic airlines, to grow so that they can keep providing better services to Nigerians. Where the airlines are at fault, where it is undoubtedly their fault, we will apply sanctions now more than ever before. Right. However, there's a lot of improvement because there's capacity now for the airlines. More aircraft are coming into the country thanks to the Honorable Minister and the DGCA, Captain Chris Najomo. And so after January, February, we expect more aircraft to come into the country and so less delays. And by that time, the Harmattan haze would also have cleared as well. Right. And so we'll be expecting better services.
Right,
yes.
That's where we have to leave it for now. Thank you so much, Managing Director, Consumer Protection Nigeria, Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimugu. We appreciate your insights on the news at 10 tonight.
Thank you.
Now let's take you to Osun State, where a coalition of civil society organizations has